Good morning, welcome to Ag Talking to Raw. We talk raw about agriculture and other things that I want to talk about, like the YouTube shooting, right, Teresa? Yep. Yeah, I want to talk about the YouTube shooting. Okay, so, wow. I find it rather ironic that what would we call this woman? A animal rights activist who would never harm a creature would take a gun to YouTube and shoot people. Well, people are creatures too, you know. I mean, we're a distinct form of creature. Amazing. So she was, animal rights. She was a big advocate for PETA and animal rights. There's photographs of her. She is a creepy-looking individual. I did look her up. Her site is now down, obviously, for obvious reasons. Now, YouTube demonetized her content, according to some of the complaints that she had and what I saw on the Communist News Network. Wow. So she gets a gun, she goes down there, and she shoots, 4 people, and then blows her brains out. I would think she blew her brains out, which was good, and I'm hoping that nobody else dies in that incident. But you know, it's really ironic. YouTube is having a campaign against firearms channels. If you shoot how to use a gun safely videos or even gun reviews, you're pretty much being banned from YouTube. And yet then you get this, I'd have to say, I don't know what her religion was, but the name indicated that she was a Muslim. You know, not saying that she was, but that name that she had kind of carries on with Middle Eastern descent, which, you know, I don't care where you're from in the world, just behave yourself when you get here. Obviously, she couldn't behave herself. She loved animals enough that she would protect them with her life, but she hated people enough that she would just go and randomly kill or try to kill 4 people and herself. The best job and the most successful that she was in the last thing that she did, and that was to put a bullet in her head or wherever she put it to kill herself. That's good. YouTube, Google, they need to pull their heads out of their ass a little bit. I'm probably never going to get monetized on this channel for this little statement, but Google and YouTube are barking up the wrong tree. If you are demonetizing and taking down videos that are being produced to promote the safety and the proper use of a firearm, you guys have problems. You really need to straighten out and get that done. Now, if you take off videos of wackos using firearms to shoot at people and things like that, then okay. I mean, even people targets. You know, when I was a kid, we had the bullseye. It was round and it had like blue, white, red, yellow in color, and then you had the little black dot in the center, which was a bullseye, and that is what you aimed for. Somewheres around the late 80s, early 90s, you started to get these silhouettes. You know, you could get a silhouettes, and the Sportsman Guide was the first one that I saw that actually had the targets of the bad guy holding the gun against the little bimbo blonde or the little, you know, if you ever saw the, what is that, the Men in Black show movie, and there was that target with the little girl holding the doll baby just all by herself. Well, there was a target of that little girl being held at gunpoint by a creepy guy, and you would shoot at that guy. So, you know, even in the gun targeting, in the shooting world, when you start making human lifelike silhouettes for people to shoot at, you're on that desensitizing. You're desensitizing the shooter. Now, if there's kids that are shooting, they're shooting at a human target. Well, why not just a round circle with a dot in the middle? The effectiveness is the same. Even in the military, they were circles. You know, they were just a target that you would shoot at, and they had numbers from, you know, like 100 down to 0, which would be your target. I think they were 100. You know, I used to buy them when I was young. It was like 25 cents, and you got yourself a target, and then you'd shoot it full of holes, and you'd pull out another 25-cent target. And then I got smart and just started making my own. But I never shot at a human lifelike target. I just never did. The silhouettes that they shot at later, you know, and I still think they use a black silhouette to shoot at in the military. I was never in the military, but I've seen plenty of And if you're in the military, please correct me if I'm wrong, or if you have been in the military, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being corrected. It's okay. But I know if you take that 1,000-yard shot or that 1,800-yard shot, they are circles when bullseyes, and, windage and elevation are marked on there. As, of course, when you're taking those types of shots, you really, really, truly need to know what you're doing in order to even get close to the target at that range. I have shot very long distances before. Wind is a huge effect. If you have a nice flat calm, anybody can shoot. When you get out there over that 500-yard distance, things get a little funky with the arc and even the uphill and downhill shots that you take. So if you climb to the top of the tower and you shoot to the bottom of the field, and it's like 630 yards, I think, from all the way down there, you can't use the same setting as if you're using a flat trajectory, because the gravitational pull on a downhill shot is different than it would be on an uphill shot or a flat shot. So you kind of got to know what you're doing. But I'm getting a little off target here. So the YouTube, promote gun safety videos. They should really promote gun safety videos over the any other videos of people shooting Tenorite and things like that. So people that shoot Tenorite, yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch it, but when you start doing things that are not kosher, like putting Tenorite in buildings or lawnmowers where things get blown up to the point where they're splinters from entire buildings to splinters. Yeah, they're cool to watch, but they also, again, breed this, hey, I can get ammonium nitrate and aluminum powder and make a shit ton of this stuff, and got a bing, got a boom, I can blow up my neighbor's car. And you know what? It's legal. It is perfectly legal to buy ammonium nitrate. If for fertilizer and stuff, Scott's sells it down at the Home Depot and Lowe's all day, every day. Just look at the ingredients and you'll see it. Aluminum powder, easily available on the internet. And you just get your parts correct and off you go. They're perfectly legal. To buy gunpowder to do this with, even though gunpowder is not that unstable, you can shoot gunpowder. It won't explode like Tenorite will. Ammonium nitrate can be found in places that you would never even expect. You ever see those cold packs? Little cold packs that when you twist your ankle and the EMTs come along and they say, here, have a cold pack. And they break the water packet that's inside and put it on your hand, on your wound, on your sprained ankle. Well, that's ammonium nitrate in there. You can easily buy a case of those things and come up with about 20 pounds of ammonium nitrate, and that will definitely cause some serious havoc. How do I know these things? Well, I know these things. I'm smarter than I look. But anyway, so I don't recommend going into YouTube headquarters and shooting people up. If you're demonetized, you're in YouTube. If you're demonetized and having a real problem with it, you're in YouTube for the wrong reasons anyway. This channel I have been producing videos on for several months now, and I think I started in November with this one, so I haven't received $1. It doesn't cost me anything because I'm just right here in my office and I talk about things that I want to talk about, and that's just the long and the short of it. But I'm not looking for money on this one. This is a place where I can express my opinions and you can listen to them, and I can't get demonetized here because I'm not doing anything that would put advertisers' reputation in danger of being tarnished. So yeah, and this is a good spot to be. Now, and I would love to talk about YouTube for hours on end, but here's the long and the short of YouTube. When I started YouTube, there was no money. There wasn't any money. I mean, I've been doing this since 2009, and I think that was the year, well, actually 2008, but 2009, I deleted the videos that were there in 2008. They were just basically cell phone videos. It was a real bastard to get them up on the site, so I didn't do it until I actually bought a camera. And I still have my first YouTube camera, and I'm going to show you this thing. You see this thing? This is how beat up it was. By the time I was done using it, it still functions, but if you look, there's no camera lens or anything on it. It should kind of look like this one. This was the second camera that I bought, and I have a slew of other cameras here. Here's Clicky. Still have Clicky's here. Here's the camera that I ran over with the wagon, the black one. There's a blue one around here someplace. Maybe that's still in my carry-on bag. But I do have a lot of cameras and literally tens of thousands of dollars in camera equipment that over the last 10 years of doing YouTube, the first camera that I bought, that was $600. It was expensive. It was very expensive. So you take $600, and then there was another thing that I bought that didn't work out. Where in the hell is it? It was a Bravia, which was a weird named camera, and it didn't work out too well. But, a lot of money spent. So every year you buy a camera. Even this camera that I'm running right here, this is almost $600. A lot of people don't like this camera because it doesn't stay focused. Well, it does. I needed to reset the focus on it, so I did that, and it seems to work okay now. Heavy breathing, I can't help. The kid has asthma and sleep apnea, and he is going in for surgery because his tonsils are the size of golf balls. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry. But I just won't put him behind the camera. I do have a new camera. It's called the Solo Shot, and we will be using that soon, very soon, when we're putting fertilizer on and stuff like that. That's a cameraman on a stand, and it's going to work out great, I'm hoping. So anyway, what else was I going to say about this whole YouTube thing? I started YouTube before there was money. I will probably, even if they demonetized me, I would still produce videos, maybe not as often, because honestly, I do like the money that I get from YouTube. It was something that came about. I started in 2008, and November of 2010, they presented me with a monetization program. The first month I made 63 cents. 63 cents. And I was happy. I got a check in the mail for it took 2 months in order to do this, but I got a check in the mail for like $1.85. That's what I got. And I was thrilled. I was like, you know what? That's $1.85 I didn't have before. And that led me on the way to build the channel to what it is today. I am going to be changing my channel just a little bit. I'm going to try and get rid of some of the foul language on that one. I can leave it here, which is perfectly fine because I don't get paid on this one. And, YouTube just has this algorithm that it doesn't enjoy that type of creativity anymore. And, but whatever. So, I say in the last 5 of the 10 years, 90%, and I'm going to say 90% of the people that signed up for YouTube signed up with the sole purpose of making money on YouTube. Now, there are people that throw a video up once or twice a year and they just don't care to make money on it or whatnot. But anybody that started YouTube back before Google owned it and started the monetization process, those people, like myself and countless others, they're still making videos. They're still making videos, monetized or not, and they're here. I find it to be a shame that YouTube would actually YouTube would actually single out the creators that have been here the longest, that haven't changed their style. I mean, YouTube's always an evolving thing, but they haven't really changed their style too much, except that they're no longer being promoted by the algorithm. I've never been promoted by the algorithm. I am real. I do what I want on here, and I try to keep it as real as possible because, my viewers want the real opinion, the real life opinions of me and the real life work that I do. And yeah, things happen on the farm. I curse. Timothy curses. Teresa curses. It just happens, and I have an opinion that maybe doesn't follow the snowflake agenda. I mean, if I don't like something, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. If I like something, I'm going to tell you that I like it. And if it's a piece of shit, then it's a piece of shit. If it's like the best thing since sliced bread, then guess what? That's what you're going to get on this channel. I will not promote something if it isn't quality. I will, I'm trying to not be such a downer on some of the stuff that I do on the One Lonely Farmer channel, because advertisers and the algorithm says, oh, okay, so he was really mean to Case New Holland or CNH. So CNH is no longer going to advertise on his channel. Well, that's okay, because you know what? I don't find CNH to be a very quality piece of equipment at this point in time. The tractors are fine. The tractors are fine, but the hay equipment is like stuck in a rut that is so deep that they can't see the outside edges of it. And they haven't figured out that, you really need to do some things to get the quality of these machines up to the standard that they need to be. Farmers hate paying for a piece of equipment and then having to replace it the like 6 months after they're finished paying for it. I do. I really hate that. So, they could figure that one out. But anyway, so this woman that went into YouTube, she was demonetized according to the CNN, the Communist News Network, and her family had, according to the family member that they spoke to, they had called the police and said, hey, there's a reason she went down there. She went missing. She's not talking to anybody. And they ignored it, according to the Communist News Network. This is not me reporting. This is just me re-reporting what the Communist News Network said. So how true it is, I don't know. But if you started YouTube with the sole purpose of becoming a millionaire, your chances of this happening are slim to none. It's slim to none. We're not all PewDiePie. We're not all this Paul Logan. And even Paul Logan, he has gone the way of the dodo, I think. I think they even pulled his... I don't know. I haven't even looked at his channel. I didn't know who Paul Logan was until he did that stunt in Japan with the dead body hanging from a tree. I wouldn't have done that even on my channel. I certainly wouldn't have laughed about it. Human life is nothing to laugh at, whether it's still there or not. I mean, once you're dead, you're dead. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that someone was so pathetic in their life that they felt the need to off themselves. But people like him, they don't deserve to be millionaires. Honestly, I mean, that man was a sociopath or a psychopath or whatever. What would you call him? Yeah, I think it was sociopath. He just didn't care about anything or anyone around him. But if you are starting YouTube for the sole purpose of becoming rich, you need to stop now. If you're creating stuff and you're happy to create it, it doesn't matter if you make money on it or not, then you belong on YouTube. We do get used to the money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know there are YouTubers out there that this is the only income that they have. This is not my only income. This YouTube could stop tomorrow and I'd be okay. It's not going to be, I won't be happy about it, but I'd be okay. I'd put my time into something else, into something else. You won't get the lovely content from me because YouTube will be gone. But if the money just says, if Google says, hey, we're going to pull all advertising off of YouTube, yeah, I'll still post, but I'm not going to post every day. I get more enjoyment out of reading the comments on here than anything else. I mean, some of you people are off the wall, but for the most part, reading the comments is more than enough to keep me posting videos on here. So with that being said, next week, Ag Talking to Raw, we'll actually talk about agriculture and things about that, So leave your comments below what you think about, YouTube pulling the monetization from gun channels that teach safety and history. I enjoy the history, like the Forgotten Weapons. Forgotten Weapons is an awesome channel, and they demonetized him a long time ago. And even Hickok 45, they've been picking on him for years, and all he does is target practice. He practices gun safety also on his channel, and yet they pull his money too, which, I don't think he's hurting for money, but, they do these videos to get paid, and they do the Patreon, and, like I said, he would probably continue to produce videos even if Patreon shut him off. Not as often, obviously, but he would definitely be doing that. I can't speak for him, but I speak for myself in saying that I started this without money. I will continue without money if I have to. But I am going to comply because this is their website. I'm going to comply with the guidelines. I'll push the limits always. I always have. And, just if you see a change that you don't like, let me know. And I'll go back to the way it was. That's all. Anyways, have a good one. Thanks for watching.